So we're going to learn about the wages paid by firms in a competitive labor markets, right? And when we say competitive labor markets, we are saying is there are lots of buyers and lots of sellers, or lots of laborer and lots of employers. There's no concentration of power. So I like my typing, don't I? Always skipping words here and there. Right. So on the right hand, let me just label these diagrams. Let's say, or in the labor markets, right, we've got the demand curve for labor, which is horizontal addition of all demand, right, from every firm. So, right, we market demand for labor, market demand for labor, okay. And we have the market supply for labor. Let me color this red to make it look different from the demand curve. And market supply for labor. And where the two intersects each other, what we have is the market wage rate. And this is the employment in that market. Let me label that as the, or just LM will do, and that's the market wage rate. Now for the firm, what it means is it can actually employ at the given wage rate as many workers as it wants. Okay, so that is the supply curve for the firm, that at the given market wage rate it can employ as many workers as it wants. However, the demand for the labor of the firm is dependent on the marginal revenue product of labor, as we've learned previously. And the firm will employ where MRPL is equal to the wage rate or the average cost of labor. I'll explain that in a bit. Let me just this line sorted, so I will have to pay. Yeah. Now for people who haven't watched my video on MRPL, let me explain. MRPL is the marginal product of labor. Marginal product of labor times the marginal revenue or the price you can sell it, and the firm will employ workers where MRPL equals MCL, as it will maximize profit at that number of workers. What we've got to understand is the supply curve for the firm is a horizontal line, which means for a firm in competitive markets, average cost of labor is equal to marginal cost of labor. So ACL equals ACL equals MCL equals the market wage rate. The labor supply curve for the firm is horizontal as demonstrated in the diagram. ACL equals MCL, and the firm can employ as many workers it wants at the going market wage rates. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce another situation over here. Let's say the market supply curve moves to the right because of immigration, and I'm going to label this MSL plus. We've got immigration coming in. The new equilibrium would be wage 1. Let me actually label that as 2, and let me label that as wage 2. Right, and the wages paid by the firm has actually fallen from W to W2, and that is why people are not happy with immigration. Having said that, the number of workers employed by the firm should increase, but this may not happen. This may not happen that theoretically the workers employed by the firm should increase to L2. The general employment in the economy should increase to LM2, but that doesn't happen. Why? Because the firms, or there might be spare capacity in the economy. So what we are doing is we're just adding on to our existing unemployment, and the wages are further falling down. So let me explain this in writing. The market supply curve for labor will shift to the right due to immigration. This will have an deflating effect on market wages to W2. The firms will pay lower wages at W2, but theoretically may increase employment as they employ L2 workers. However, in real world, it may not be the case in short run, as there is existing spare capacity, and the markets are left with lower wages and higher unemployment.